There are some critical transitional phases that require you to do very uncomfortable things in order for your business to blossom. If you're getting started and looking to grow an online business to sustain yourself, I'm going to walk you through exactly what you can expect and how to overcome these roadblocks so that your business can grow without caving in on you. I'm Chris. I have my own online coaching businesses where I've grown them to 7 figures, so I want to show you how to do the same thing. This is typically what happens for people when they get started with building their own online business. There's usually this weird transitional phase. You're usually working full-time. That's what you've been used to doing up until this point, but you've heard so many great things about starting a side hustle or starting an online business. During that time, most of your hours are still spent at your 9 to 5 or your full-time job. Slowly over time, you start building little by little this little side hustle that you're hoping that grows and can eventually replace this job. The transition starts to happen where your time slowly gets more and more devoted to your side business. The really tough part is that the time never decreases with your full-time job. You still have to work 40 hours. You still have to show up in order to pay your bills, feed your kids. The tough part is that your business, as it grows, it starts to require more and more of your time. You only have 24 hours. You can't double it to 48 hours so that you can split your time between the two things. It gets really difficult to start managing, but eventually, if you want to be able to grow and replace your job, you know that you have to take this crazy leap where you quit your job and you go all in on your business. This is the first taste of the hard transitions that you have to do for your business to grow. You're giving up everything that's comfortable right now. You've been working this job for so long, you're comfortable, you know how much money you're gonna make every other week. At one point, your business requires so much of your energy that you have to quit that altogether, or else you stay stagnant and you don't grow. If that's the decision, then you can never get out of this position in order to grow your business to its full potential. This is the first part that everybody is scared about, and this is the reason why a lot of businesses don't end up growing. They can't get over the fear of the discomfort of being able to quit their job. I don't think the smartest thing to do is quit your job if you don't have a strategy or a clear game plan that you've laid out. It's this weird balance because you know that if you don't give this up, this can't grow, but you're too uncomfortable to give this up, so this isn't growing. So then you're stagnant and you're stuck in this place where your time is so divided between the two things that you're not making progress either way. From personal experience, what I did was I hired a coach. I set myself up with a complete A through Z game plan of what I was going to execute as soon as I quit my job. I had everything aligned, so I knew when I took that leap, I could just hit the ground running and I knew exactly what to do. I wasn't trying to figure out what steps do I need, what do I need to put together. I knew exactly what that was. I just had to execute. The first month I quit my job, I made more money than I had ever made before. If you think about how much effort and time you put into a job, 40 hours a week, if you put that into growing your business and you're absolutely sure on a strategy, it's really hard to fail. Most of the time people will have this fear, but as soon as they jump ship, they immediately see it was worth it. I'm not saying that's the same for everybody. I'm saying that's what happened to me and a lot of my students that quit their job because they had a strategy. It's almost stagnant between the two, and as soon as they let this go, they see this exponential growth in their business. This is another really uncomfortable thing that you're gonna have to learn how to get over at one point or another. You've heard the saying so many times, it takes money to make money. And that is very true. The people who can't make the money that they want are because they're scared of letting go of the current money that they have. But they don't have enough to live the life they want. However, they're just holding on to that money as tightly as possible. That's the quickest way to stay stagnant. This is a very common trend. If you need more business, you need more attention, you have to do some sort of marketing. Advertisement, paid media, billboards, any sort of advertisement is usually one of the best ways in order to put money in and get money out. The process looks like this. You start with X amount of money, maybe it's a little bit. Most people are scared to spend any money, so they don't run the ads that are necessary to get the attention they need in order to get clients and make more money. If you do not resolve the fear of spending money, this process cannot happen. You'll never make more money to be able to funnel back into ads to be able to get more clients. It's a cycle, and the only thing between this money turning into bags of money is the time. Most people aren't patient enough or have the stomach to see themselves spend this money, take time through the process before this money comes out. I'll see people spend a little bit of money here, and then they get scared and they shut it off and they shut off the ads and it breaks the entire system. This concept isn't just with advertisement. You have to invest in many things in order for your business to grow. You have to invest in other people to build a team. You have to invest in advertisement to get attention. You have to invest in yourself to level up your skills, to have the skills required to be able to grow a business like this. More importantly, you have to have the mental bandwidth and the ability to sustain spending money, giving it time before you see money. Because if you make more money, guess what happens? You start pouring back into the system and this compiles and compiles. So it may start with a little bit of money, then it slowly starts getting bigger and scaling up and up and up and up and up, and that's how your business grows. If you get impatient and you cut the source, how do you expect to get more? How do you expect to get water if you don't turn on the faucet? You must get over the fear of spending money if you want to make more money. Why do you think most people are stuck in the position they are? It's because they're like, I'm gonna wait until the perfect time. I'm gonna wait until I have X amount of money before I do the thing. You have to be willing to feed the source with whatever you have now to be able to compile. I think a big misunderstanding with ads, especially today with social media, is you could run ads at like $1, $5 a day. If you run at $5 a day and you get 10, then you put that 10 back in, you get 20, you put that 20 back in, you get 40, it compiles. You don't need X amount of money before you start running advertisement with how much access we have today. You just need to get started and stop being scared. Another very uncomfortable transition that you have to make in order to grow is switching from the person who hustles and does everything to the person who builds out the systems and the teams to be able to grow beyond what they can do as one person physically. Starting in your business, what you generally have is you have more time than you do have money. Those are the two resources that you can pull from in order to grow your business. You can use your time to reach out to people and get clients, or you can use money for paid advertisement, for example. During this phase where you have more time, you have to use the resource that you have more of. Eventually, the goal is to be able to tip the scale and be able to use your money instead of your time, because your time is much more valuable of a resource. When you have more time than you do have money, this is the hustle phase. This is where you learn how to do every single skill yourself. You execute all of it. You're basically doing this juggling act where you're a circus clown and you are the CEO, you're the salesperson, you're the face of the company, your social media, you're doing everything. Us as entrepreneurs do this for a long time, so we get primed to thinking that we're the only person that can do this right. Nobody can do these things better than us. We know it inside out. It's better if we just do it. But at one point, you're gonna be a cap on your own business. I don't care how much you work and how much you don't sleep, at one point, you're not gonna be able to physically take on anymore. At that point, you are your own constraint to be able to make more money and grow your business. There is a mental shift that has to occur to get rid of this hustle mindset in order to transition over to the person who builds the systems. Some people start making money because of this phase, because they hustle so much, they end up being really stingy with their money, so they get scared, so they stick and keep just trading their time for the longest time. This is where burnout generally occurs. When you are in extreme hustle mode, that's all you know, you start making some money, but you get stingy and you're afraid to use the money because you worked so hard for it, so you continue to trade your time for money. If you do not let go of that, you're gonna burn out and your whole business is gonna crumble, which is worse than spending the money. So you have to overcome that fear and start hiring people, start using your money instead of your time, and being very careful with what you do here. Everything that you've done here, you should create some sort of system for, like an SOP, standard operating procedure. You need to document exactly what you do for every task you do in your business. That way you can delegate it to somebody else. That is a system. If you can hand the instructions off to somebody else, that is a system. That's how you stop doing things yourself. That's how you buy your time back. The overarching principle for any of these transitional phases is that you have to give up one for another. You have to give up comfort in order to grow. You cannot have both. If you stay comfortable in anything you do, because how you do one thing is how you do everything, that's going to bleed over in all of your life. The hardest part is that you start to learn new things. You become used to that being your normal. You're used to hustling. You start transitioning things over to your teams. That's what you're used to. But every level you hit, it's almost like immediately as soon as you get comfortable with it, you have to drop that and learn the next thing in order to get to the next level. So the biggest thing is you just cannot stay comfortable if you want to grow. If you want to grow, you have to let go of comfort, because if you want safety, then you can't grow and you're going to stay the same. Each time I wanted to reach another level in my business, it's because I went all in on it. Anytime I was comfortable, I had enough money in the bank, or this was doing fine, this was okay, that's when I always stagnate. When I hired a coach for the first time, I spent money that I didn't have. I took out a loan, I borrowed money, I took out money from my savings, I went all in. Me physically giving somebody else my money was me mentally committing to the process. If I didn't pay enough, I would just make excuses and say, that's okay. I'm okay with losing that money. But the fact that I went all in made me so uncomfortable financially that I had to make it work. That's one of the best things that somebody had ever done to me, is just ask me for more money than I had and letting me pay them. So all these things feel like a double-edged sword. I mean, you want to stay comfortable, but you want to grow. You want to keep hustling, but you also want to build systems. You want your time, but you also want the money. You don't want to spend money, but you want to make money. Just know that the uncomfortable path is usually the path you're supposed to take. Defaulting to safety will keep you from hitting your goals and growing, and that's how you stay mediocre. Look, that's where most people are. They're afraid to go down the path and they just stay still because they're like, we're good here. If you want to be mediocre, like, that's the action you should take. But if you want to be different, you have to do the hard things that scare you. So how you should go about thinking when you make decisions in your business, think of the opposite of what most people do. Most people aren't in the place you want to be if you're a high achiever. Most people are borderline normal. Don't copy everybody. If you copy everybody, you get the same results. You should remove any emotions from making decisions. Look, spending money and investing in yourself, it costs a lot. It's scary. You just need to recognize, okay, am I making this decision because I'm fearful? Am I afraid to invest in myself because I'm scared to lose the money? Do I know what's best for me? Because I know if I spend this money, I could potentially make more, but I'm scared to do it. Which decision should you make? Remove your emotion from it. Think logically, because logic always pans out. 1 + 1 always equals 2. It can't equal 3, even if you're scared. And get comfortable with discomfort. Because when most people feel discomfort, they freeze up. The people who can keep doing the things they know they need to do even when they feel discomfort are always the ones that win. Think about the things that you're procrastinating right now. Those are usually the most important things you should be doing. I even have a bad habit of this. If I have a to-do list, there's 5 things on there. I always know what the most important thing to do is and what I should be tackling first, but I do the easy things first, and then I end up not doing the most important thing. If you can just tackle it head on, first thing, the thing you're procrastinating most right now because you're scared of doing, that's the thing you should be doing. This is to help you understand that there are constant mental shifts that you have to change about the way you think. A lot of people have beliefs that are ingrained in them and they keep it for the rest of their lives. That's the worst thing you can do. You have to let go of certain beliefs in order to grow. So always question the things that you believe, because most people aren't conscious enough to do that.